we're back on track. We got some stuff from this last Thursday from Geek Class we're going to go over. What's up, Steven? So yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, Brandon.
What's up, Brandon?
What's up, guys? I don't know. I like. Did anybody else's Twitch
What's up, James?
like the community thing change? Like I can't see but like 5 people in here, and like it refreshes and like I don't know.
It's
I have like
always
this
like that.
weird view. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever. All the important people are here. All right, Danny and Daniel, front and center. And then Gavin's back to class. We love to see it. He's rolling with Kurt. Let's look at that takedown one more time.
Like a Sayonagi, but like from
From the
the
side.
same side. Yeah.
Like a Yoko Sayonagi, maybe? I don't know if that's what you
Yeah,
call
it's
it.
weird. It was effective, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I actually liked it, so I was thinking about it because I watched it as I was uploading, right? And I really liked it because you don't have back exposure. I mean, you do, but you don't, right? Because you're like,
Oops.
you know, not across the body the entire way.
Yeah.
So I actually really liked that.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's got to hop over him to take advantage of that. But Daniel had such a grip on him. His posture was well under Daniel's control.
Yeah.
I feel like we still see vestiges of Daniel's wrestling in him when guys like him and Mitch do that rollover sort of a pinning position. What's up, Joe? I feel like I can see less viewers on desktop or small. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same. It's been like that forever. Anytime I look at like users in chat, it shows like a handful of you guys, and then everybody says, "Hey," and there are way more people than I thought.
Yeah, I feel like maybe 2 months ago or something, I had a ton of people, or like I could see if there were 11 viewers, I could see 11 people, you know.
Yeah.
But now it looks like it did refresh, so maybe it's just the catch up, you know, like it's just playing catch up.
Yeah. So Danny has an uncomfortable scissor position on Daniel, but I think Daniel was ready to wait that one out.
He's working to get on top, but he can't get hooks in, which is, you know, definitely critical on somebody like Daniel.
All right, not off camera.
It looks like Daniel got the pin here, and he's working from side control, which anybody who's rolled with Daniel knows that is a really shitty spot to get stuck in with him because of his lapel chokes that he has, the paper cutters.
Nice leg pummeling attempt there on Brandon.
I figured while we were in that spot, I'd at least give it a shot, you know, like I've been practicing like throwing this in no-gi and starting to leverage it in gi just from the sheer friction that you can get from the gi pants, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it worked, and then you'll see like I pummel my left leg over into side control because I can't. He does a good job of keeping his knee up.
Yeah.
And so I'm pummeling my left leg out so I can come around for the pass.
What happened there with Camden and Justin? Looks like Justin's got a Ezekiel on him, yeah. And Gavin has his back taken now by Kurt. So Kurt's establishing a body triangle, which is great. I want to see him really digging in on the lapels. He looks like he's opting for the kind of sliding collar strangle with the arm behind.
So I think Daniel just got that paper cutter on Danny.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, and anybody who's fallen prey to that on Daniel, pick his brain about it. Ask him how he got there. Ask him, you know, what version of the setup he used, because he has a few different ways that he likes to set that up. He and I were talking about it, and he's more than willing to help you guys out in setting them up and learning them. And he really
going into some deep path.
Yeah, he really likes working that position too, and it works well for him, right? He can utilize his hips and his legs pretty effectively to get you off balance. Danny did a good job there of maintaining. But yeah, you just can't give Daniel the opportunity to win the hip height battle or the head height battle and take top position. I feel like Camden is trying his best to work on his passing, and he doesn't exactly know how to handle some of the lapel wizardry that Justin throws at him. Not that any of us do, but yeah.
So more than anything, what I wanted in this role with Brandon was for him to, I wanted to take a mount and have him capture me in a quarter guard, because I wanted to do a ninja roll so bad. And he was, he's new, right? So even the elbow escape and everything is tough when you're in the throes of a live roll, right? And he was just almost getting there. I was trying to help him along. I'm trying to give my legs to him, and just never came to fruition.
Yeah, he'll get
right
to
here.
That. Yeah.
I was like, here, take that.
Yeah, it's one of those cool feelings in your progress in jiu-jitsu when you start catching people stepping over an amount pretty reliably.
Yep.
So he'll get there. He'll start looking for that. I ninja rolled Steven so good today, and
did you?
Ended up finishing with a rear triangle. I progressed from there. Yeah. It's one of my prouder moments today. That, and I wrist locked Steven as well. So.
Well, you'll see Steven finish me in this video.
Oh yeah,
he gets me with
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Bad.
So I wanted to call this out just because we had gone over it last week with the back, taking the back and the back attacks that we had done. We just finished our back cycle and we're on to legs. But Matt had done a class. I think you did it on it was a Saturday, right? Or was it? It was a Saturday, I think, when you had gone over a duck under and then continuing the duck under to all the way around the body. And so I was able to get the duck under on Justin, and then I actually continued to take it all around the body in order to get it, because you could see that Justin wasn't falling for it. He actually gives me an overhook and is starting to attack as I get this duck under. So we go here, I've ducked under, and he's starting to hang down on my head. My arm isn't in the best spot. He could definitely come over and whizzer me, and so I'm not in a good position to start taking him down. So I wanted to continue walking around his body in order to get into a place where I can do a mat return. So I walk around the body, my head shifts, and actually stay onto the same side there, and then do the mat return here.
Yeah, I assume you just
popping the back of the ankle.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't see because of Cole and Danny.
Yeah, it was just I do the fall step and block with the sole of my foot on the back of the ankle, and then we're into a turtle type of attacking position here.
Yeah.
Which was very stifling to try and take his back from here.
Cole's got Danny in a pretty nasty predicament.
He does, and what I really like about what Cole did here was like, can go back to the wrist grip. We're gonna spend freaking forever on this video, but like, so he's going back and he's trying to push. Like he captures the wrist, or he captures the elbow, and I think he either knowingly just knows that Danny's not going to allow him establish a good grip to push down on the wrist, but he winds up grabbing the wrist and pulling it towards him. So he's trying to push. Now he goes and he flares the elbow out and he pulls it up like this in order to get the arm trapped. And so now he's starting to attack the Kimura, which is going out to the straight arm probably here soon.
Yeah, and he's in that. Okay. I was gonna say he's in a mounted crucifix, but I think Danny got his arm free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Danny's feeding his left arm through to try and assist.
Yeah.
And then he winds up getting the straight arm finish. But I really liked the adaptation. Like if you watch Gordon's DVDs on attacking from mount, he talks about, you know, like the typical 2-on-1 pushing down, but then also the ability for you to use supinated grips in order to grab the wrist and pull it towards you, right? And then push, right? To use that constant push-pull of the arms to start exposing limbs.
Brandon's throwing some heat at Daniel right now.
Yeah.
Let's go back real quick. So gets him on his back. Daniel turtles up. Brandon follows him through. Yeah, Daniel's doing a really good job of just like walking away, not letting Brandon get a line to him, keeping his hips out of any real danger, and then working what, you know, one of the positions he's really good at, which is, you know, essentially body lock passing, or just like really, really tight passing, controlling the legs and working past.
And I know I've talked about it, we've talked about it on past streams, but like when Daniel does really well and you'll see his legs doing a lot of movement on the mat, where his chest, and in this case, you see him doing a lot of back pinning. So like his back is, you know, he normally has an arched back, his legs are planted, and his shoulder blades, or even just the tops of his shoulders, like his traps, are what's doing the pinning, right? And Brandon, you can't move from there, right? Like I'm Brandon, you're in the chat, but like normally when somebody's on top of you like that, you feel like you can move back and forth or maybe make a little bit of space. When he's on top of you like that, even though it's full back exposure, yeah, just like that, you can't move. It's very well done. Yeah, it was heavy, right?
This is not there yet. Yeah, his only points of contact with the ground at that point are his feet, and everything else, you know, you're supporting all the rest of his upper body. Yeah, you know, what he is lacking there, kind of depending on his grips, is like control of your hips. So you can still manage to move your hips relative to him, like kind of either shrimping or reverse shrimping, like even pulling yourself underneath him. Again, it does matter like what grips he has. Like if he's got your pants, you know, a good sturdy pants grip or something, it might be much more difficult. But you know, like when we talk about back control, when we're going over that, a big point I make is that all of our weapons are in front of us, right? Our hands and our legs work towards the front typically. So when Daniel's pinning you like that, all of his weapons are pointing away from you still. So he's relying on, you know, his body position and gravity to really exert the force there. So you're not totally screwed. It's still a pinning sort of thing, but there's an escape for everything.
So Brandon, also your regarding was very well timed there. What's up, Austin?
What's up, dude? Stranger. So yeah, let's look at Brandon cool.
Yeah, so immediately shakes that cross-face leg, like knows that that's the danger spot, right? For anybody, who's not familiar with the arm bars, you have, cross body leg or a body side leg, and then a cross-face leg. And generally speaking, right, with a full armbar or jujikatame. And here Brandon immediately shakes that top side leg, which goes across the face, and is able to rotate right into Daniel.
Yeah,
and start to scramble. Yep.
Sits into his butt, 3 guards.
Yep. And goes right into close guard.
Meanwhile, you're like waterboarding Justin right now.
Man, him and his fucking baby bridge or hawking is what he's doing, and I'm like, I'm gonna break this. Like, this is gonna get broken. And sure enough, I didn't. I tried.
Yeah, what those defensive postures are really good at is misaligning yourself to your opponent. So that's what I feel like when I've been experiencing that. Like, it's like, all right, let's not grip and rip. Let's try to get the upper body back under my control, because I've lost it at that point. What did Daniel and Brandon end up doing? Okay, Daniel got on top, went for a Kimura from side control. Straight arm. Okay, got it. Is that Caleb and Brandon up top in the corner? Okay. Of course, with the gis off. Gotta shake those grapevines, Danny. Good round. Oh, Austin's up there. Okay. And Luke. I didn't see them earlier.
No, I didn't either. I don't think I got a chance to train with Austin that day.
Camden bringing the heat now. Let's see how quick
Him and Gavin had a good one.
See how quick after the slap hands. he's in.
Got the jump.
He's hungry.
I'll tell you though, for Gavin being out for so long, the excuse of getting a job,
loser.
Total. And but he really didn't seem to miss out on much, right? Like his game timing obviously is probably the first thing that goes, but still solid.
Yeah.
Training.
Oh, Steven. Getting funky. Yeah, plus Gavin has the added benefit of growing and
yeah,
being a teenager, so every time we see him he's like an inch taller and stronger, so it's definitely been apparent in rolling with him. Although I did mercy grip him the other day just to make sure he knows who his jiu-jitsu daddy is.
So one thing that Daniel starts out playing bottom here with me, and so I get an underhook, a crossface. It's not an underhook. It's just a crossface on with my left arm, and I've been screwed twice already by training with him, where he starts on bottom and then just is able to completely overturn me and barrel in. So this time when he was starting to come up, I snatch a wrist grip on him on that far side. Mm-hmm. And from here, it started to shut down a good amount of the attacks for a good amount of time. So like if anybody was wondering why I was like sitting there doing it, I was trying to take the left side of his body out of the equation, to where it wouldn't give him a whole lot. Now what he does in order to mitigate that is really cool. So he balls up my gi on the back. Do you see that? How he actually has my gi balled up on the back. So Justin, you'll appreciate this one, right? He goes up and he snatches the far tail of my my gi top,
Yeah,
and he
what would
pulls
be
it
down
tight.
this side of the body, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Pulls it up nice and tight. And so now, instead of having to leverage his left arm to throw me over or push me over, he's able to snatch the grip and pull me to the right hand side while he's lifting with his left a little bit. And it starts to take me off of top position. So that was a really cool thing. And he does it actually again later in the roll.
That's a good
But what it does,
adaptation.
it's really good. And what it also does is it prevents me from coming up high. So he wants me to keep down low so that he can turn me over. When I start to be able to get up high with nice, good posture, I can start to balance a little bit and work from the top, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so he wants to trap me, keep my posture broken down so that way he can get that, that reversal. So what you can't see is that on that one, he starts setting up that like that shoulder roll on my left arm. So I came up for like a lapel grip on his right lapel with my left hand, and he immediately establishes like a double unders on that side. So I felt like I was gonna go way over. So I opted instead to go ahead and just sit down to guard, because otherwise I was going to get thrown like a rag doll.
Then in on the shoulder crunch, trying to.
Attempting it, yeah. I wound up getting it. But it was just a quick sweep. But it's, again, you see how he's taking he takes that far side, he fed it this time immediately. Instead of screwing around with that other hand, he knows, and that's what I'm talking to him about here. I'm like, I cannot get up when you start grabbing my jacket like that. Like, I can't posture up.
And, he effectively has double underhooks with only a single underhook. Like, that's...
Exactly.
It's I really like that sort of grip from, like top half guard when your ankle's still caught. You know, and you're trying to work your ankle out. If you can use your cross-facing arm and feed the lapel from the far side to the hand that's under the head and pull everything tight, and then you have your free hand to try to like push the knees down, get your leg free, all that. Using it from where he is though, that's just another great way to get you tangled up.
Yep. And his guard passes are very they may look like brute force. They're not. They're very technical. You know, like the way that he starts cutting around my body, he's throwing his shoulder and his weight into my knees. As soon as my knees go to the right hand side, he's easily able to walk around my guard. Like he completely beat my guard there. And I don't know, like it's just really cool, you know, like when we talk about guard passing, and I mean, I know Coach Luke emphasizes this a lot in his guard passing, but it's like the idea of pointing the knees away from you as you walk around the other side, right? Gordon Ryan talks about this all the time in his guard passing instructionals and stuff, and that was just a good display from Daniel there on passing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna take it up to the corner here with Caleb and Kurt. They're engrossed in a leg lock battle, and seeing as how we're on leg week, we'll focus on this a little bit. So Caleb is on an outside Ashigarami, digging on the ankle, and I'm not sure if he's going for a heel hook at this point or a straight ankle. Let's see. Okay, so he's dug under, and he's trying to set up like a toe hold grip essentially by the look of it. Kurt's not terribly concerned with it. You can see him fighting against it, and Kurt's free leg is behind Caleb, so Kurt doesn't have the luxury of using that at this point to help like kick his foot free. So really booting into this is Kurt's initial defense, especially since he doesn't have like a hand-to-hand, like a hand fight set up right now. And then I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Caleb must be. I guess he's switching his grip. So
almost like he's going for a knee bar here.
Yeah. That's what he heads to next. I was wondering why he brought his hand down that low.
Which hand?
His left hand. You can see when he switches, like he brings it into range where Kurt can grab it, right here.
Yep.
But yeah, I think he's
just trying to capture the knee line or make sure that he's got it captured and that Kurt can't scoot out, maybe.
Yeah, just work his way around. And now Kurt's feeling safe, right? Kurt has his left heel hidden, and when we say hidden, for those who like don't totally understand what we're talking about when we say hidden, it really just means like the heel is pointing behind the back. That means, Ronnie, you're ridiculous. That means they haven't dug the heel and gotten heel exposure yet. So if over the next week and a half that we have left with like the leg attacks, or the next week or whatever, when we talk about hiding the heel, when you guys are drilling, that's what we're really talking about. Your toes will point away from your partner, and your heel will point behind your partner. That sets up the struggle for them to expose your heel. And there are all sorts of techniques to do that too, but that's what we mean. So Kurt, in this case, you could see his knee right here is kind of like pointing out of the screen, and his heel would be pointing into the screen, like towards the chalkboard back here. So Caleb's got a lot to dig out. Kurt knows that, so he feels safe enough to start digging on his own leg attack on Caleb to counter. So he sets up his own toe hold on Caleb's top leg and ends up getting it. Caleb, you could tell, is, he doesn't have a good offense, so he has shifted now to defense, right? He doesn't have like a grip, or he doesn't have exposure on the heel. He's purely focused on defending his own ankle at this point. So the pendulum has swung the other way towards Kurt's offense, and Kurt ends up taking the win on that one.
I'm really going back to the roll down here between Justin and Cole. I'm really happy to see Cole actually shooting for the back.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in the past going for the back a whole lot, but I mean, here is just like prime position for him to start pushing for it.
Yeah.
And he comes back and he Justin, I mean, obviously you saw it in the roll before with me, but like Justin does a really good job of trying to misalign immediately.
That's all he's doing right
on
here.
The back take. Yeah. And Cole, recognizes that, and is, instead of, kind of throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Justin, I feel like he's trying to, realign the body. So that's a good thing to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and props to Justin for fighting that off too. I mean,
hell yeah.
Managing to keep the shoulders to the mat, and then now, for a second there, he's taking a top position in a close guard.
Yep.
And Gavin and Cam were having a great little exchange over here. I'm gonna turn the chat off for a second. It's over here on the side. Gavin's moving really well. He's staying pretty tight. I mean, he could pressure a bit more, so he works from a standing guard break. See a little improvement there. But he gets Cam's guard broken open, and immediately, like, that's the time to pass the guard. As soon as the guard breaks open, that's when you want to pass it. So he beats Camden to the punch there. Starts circling around. He could stand to add a bit more like shoulder pressure, head control, get Camden turning. All right, Camden's doing a really good job of trying to work his guard retention, keeping his legs in. And then now he's looked like he was trying to attack the leg, and he's about taking his back there. So that was good. Just a scrappy little exchange between the two of them. I'm glad you finally got your relief, Ronnie. Does your sternum pop ever, Peters?
All the time.
Okay. Ronnie and I were talking about how like when it feels like it needs to pop and it doesn't. I don't know if anybody else in chat experiences popping sternums, but it's like a knuckle crack.
Yep.
And hers wasn't popping yesterday. And I'm like, I'm just glad I don't have a tumor and other people experience this, because
one of those things you don't normally ask about, but yeah, everybody does it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I Googled it.
No. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
No, my girls think it's gross every time it happens. Oh, Dad.
Yeah, my wife has been like, "What is that?" I'm like, it's my chest.
Yep.
It's growing. It's expanding. It's got to make room for all this muscle. All right, enough. So Camden and Gavin getting after it again. I like Camden working the front headlock here. It looks like, I don't know if Gavin was maybe, if he just got caught. Like, it looks like he kind of changed his level here. I don't know if he was intending on shooting or if he just got caught with his head down. Okay, yeah, it looks like he just got caught there. And then Camden manages to walk behind, picks him up, takes him down.
And gently takes him down. Yes.
That was very nice.
I like how he did it. Yeah.
Danny is
trying the old Eagles perch.
Yeah. Didn't quite work. But now Justin's in some trouble for the I wouldn't say Justin is in trouble with like any other person there, but since it's Danny, I just assume he's gonna get a rear triangle or a reverse triangle thrown up. But I really like this grip Justin sets up with that lapel. This is such a cool grip.
Yeah.
I think I've done this maybe once, and like I guess I never get it, because like I can never like catch somebody's arm in that folded up position. But with that crossface, with the crossface grip and then that lapel over the wrist, like it is impossible to extend your arm out. So you just completely take away one of their frames if you can manage to hold that. It looks like Danny he shakes it there, but that would like, it's such a debilitating grip. I hate when that happens to me. I love getting it on other people.
And what did he get? It was something off of that. It was
like the Ezekiel, I think Justin's been calling it.
Yeah. And that's a sick choke.
So he's got, right now he's tying up Danny's arm with Danny's gi. Okay, and then he fishes his arm in from
under
the outside.
Lapel. Yes, under the lapel and over the throat.
Justin, where do you come up with this shit? I was just glad I get to watch it happen to Danny instead of trying to dissect it on myself later. Yeah, that's sick, man. That's an intriguing one. Rad. Really awesome, Justin.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, hell yeah.
Danny's like, what the hell? Oh, so Justin, is that why you loosen that grip? Like, is that why you let Danny slip it out? Justin said in the chat, I 100% loosen that grip on purpose. That makes sense here. Danny made me suffer for the rest of the... Okay.
Oh, he loosened the grip to get the hand to come out. I think is that what you meant, Justin?
Yeah. So it's a little bit of that push-pull strategy, right? So
yep.
Make him want to get that hand out. And when he does, slip your own hand in. Look at that.
Boom.
Justin, that was beautiful sick, timing. Man. Yeah. I love the strategy behind that. That's cool. That's really cool. Let's see how Danny punishes you.
He's trying to do the back step into the knee bar. Yep. Oh yeah, I remember watching this.
I'm gonna look at this again. I missed it. I was looking at another round or another match. Okay, yeah, into the clover leaf. That's a tough one, Justin. Like when you spin through that, you got to spin so fast. Otherwise, you basically rotate into where Danny wants you. So this is awesome because we don't get to go over this too much. This is Danny's working a reverse ashi right now.
Yep.
A lot of times, most people, and like we see Caleb doing back steps or spin arounds to like from top half guard. You often just spin right through this position, right? This reverse ashi. But Danny's taking his time here. So right now he's in cross. And for anybody who sat through my my lecture on how these positions are all interrelated, because Justin is initiating the roll and trying to basically take it back to an outside ashigarami, right? Which is if Danny didn't roll there, he would. It's hard to picture, but you'll have to take my word for it. If Danny didn't roll, his hips would be to the mat, and he would basically be in an outside, straight ashigarami, not a cross ashigarami. Since Danny rolled with him and is now facing his feet and facing away from Justin, he's in this reverse position. So
he's like sitting on the left hip of Justin.
Right.
That's the reverse position. Is I'm sitting on the hips, looking at the feet.
Right.
With legs in between.
Yeah, and like something you often find yourself contending with against your opponent is they like figure for their legs, so that they are much harder to knee bar. Their leg is difficult to toe hold. You often have to kind of untie those legs. Danny catches Justin before he could set that up, and I really like how they ended up falling over here. So Danny has Justin's left leg under control, right? We'll say that's the primary leg that he's attacking, because it's Justin's leg that is between both of Danny's legs. So typically, if you think about any ashigarami, the leg that you have captured with your own legs, that's usually the one you attack. You can still attack the other, but that's like a secondary leg. So Danny right now with his hands is attacking the secondary leg. But the problem with the toe hold in this position is you don't have full control over the hip and over the thigh, or over the knee for that matter. Like you're simply attacking at the ankle. The way you exert some control over it is to fall towards it and use your body weight as a wedge, right? Which Danny does here. Let's see, I forgot how. Okay, so then Justin, he does a smart thing. He goes, or he does what most of us would go to do. He's going to use his free leg to try to disrupt the attack on his threatened leg right now with the toe hold. When you do that, you give up that primary leg, and your opponent can switch to a knee bar. Likewise, if Justin tried to use his his free leg, the leg that had the toe hold on it, if Justin tried to use that leg to disrupt the toe hold or to disrupt the knee bar, Danny can switch back to attacking that leg. So you have this dilemma where you can attack both legs, and every time your opponent defends one of them, you get to attack the other one pretty easily. So this is, I really, really like this position. And like we just don't often see people taking the pause here when they get there. Now Danny's working a toe hold grip, as opposed to the knee bar, and ends up getting it. But that was cool. Really, really great to see, especially during leg week. I'm glad you guys are playing around in some of these different positions. And what's Kurt's trying to toe hold you as well right here? I think you guys are just against the wall.
He wanted to go. He was going over 50-50.
Mm.
So we were just basically starting out 50-50 and seeing who can win in that position.
Yeah. Yeah, Steven and I had a few 50-50 battles this week. That's such a great spot when you get comfortable in your own defense. It's a great spot to work from. All right, what does Danny do with this? Nice. This is a really cool finish from Danny. He gets mounted triangle, works his way around to like almost. I think we could call this a rear triangle at this point.
Yeah.
The way he finishes is pretty interesting. He's got like normally in an ideal setup, their spines would be aligned, right? So Danny would be more on this arrow than he is on this arrow. He's got the arm above Justin's head. That's good. Oh, you know what? He's actually in a... I just noticed he's in essentially a wrong way rear triangle. Because he's got his crossing leg under the arm rather than across the neck. So this is even more interesting. The point I was getting to, though, and it still holds here, Danny works to finish this by actually grabbing Justin's free arm and pulling it up, further like constricting on the neck, right, as he's controlling the shoulders and pulling everything in. So if you a lot of times if you guys find yourselves here in a standard rear triangle, again, this one's a little different, but in a standard rear triangle, if you go to get his trapped arm over his head, maybe it's not all the way up, or maybe he's super strong and really pulling it down, you can grab the free arm and pull that arm up too for a little bit extra constriction. But yeah, I think because Danny is doing this the quote unquote wrong way, that's probably why he's not on the ideal angle that I pointed out before. And then he's also like, he's right around the corner from, actually he's staring right down the barrel of the armbar. If you can manage to finish that.
So can you go back a little bit, because Justin just dropped some stuff in the chat about the lapel grip.
Peters was talking about earlier. I feel has some danger for arm bars.
Always step over the threatened armbar. So here, I think. No, before here. I imagine we're talking about for mount. Was there a mount? Yep. So here. So Justin has that same exact grip that Daniel does, and in fact, I saw Danny do this for a brief moment against Justin earlier in the match. Yep. Yeah. So this is it. Mm-hmm. So he grabs the lapel with the right arm. Let's see what Danny does with it. So he steps it up, and he gets into an S mount. But unlike, it's like a reverse S mount.
Yeah, he's with only the one arm in.
Yep. I see. That's interesting.
Yeah, and let me go back.
I guess, yeah. Because basically by doing that, you're completely isolating one arm.
Yeah, but the armbar, I feel like... So in a traditional armbar, I feel like Danny would have to rotate the other way, right? Like Danny would want to bring his hips towards us looking at the photo here, or looking at the video here. Instead, he rotates the other way, right? Like that's the trapped arm. Danny rotates.
It's a triangle.
Yeah, Danny rotates the other way to that. Yeah.
So if Danny folds his right leg under the head, he has a mounted triangle. Instead, he tries to go for that armbar to to continue the rotation, and he winds up getting this variation, that wrong way rear triangle or whatever.
It's really it. I don't even know if I could call it that now. Looking at it, I think I was so focused on the rear triangle that it was actually it wasn't. It was just like an armbar position, but with like it's a 3/4 juji essentially.
It is a 3/4 juji. If Danny
Really?
just got his left leg over top of the head. But I don't know, Justin, was that a strangle or was that a shoulder? Like what did that? Do you remember? I guess it's like, was that a shoulder finish, like,
Yeah.
a shoulder lock, or was that a strangle? Strangle. Okay, so yeah, that was a triangle.
Yeah.
In my, huh? Yeah, your shoulder was completely stuck to your neck, right? Danny's hips were so crunched in, and then his right leg was in your neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like squeezing everything in. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the additional pull here is putting it's just like the little bit of extra
on the far side
on the sleeve. He's got Justin's arm here. Yeah.
Okay.
So he grabs Justin's sleeve.
Oh, okay.
That's that's what I was saying earlier. Like he pulls that up, which is not an uncommon thing in a rear triangle. That's why it jumped out to me. You normally obviously you pull the trapped arm up first, like that's your priority. But if you need additional help, right, on getting that strangle, you can 2-on-1 pull that grip up, or I guess you don't need 2-on-1, but you can pull that far arm up. So Danny's borrowing from a few different things here and tying it all together.
He's an innovator, like Austin.
He's an innovator, man.
What can you say?
We should get some pins that we could pin on their lapels, and then when we go knee on belly, just jam the pin into their chest. Yeah, that looked super deep, man. That was definitely a shoulder. Oh damn, you just cranked Kurt pretty good there. Camden and Gavin are having a battle here. You see Brandon? Quick little run around. It's not ever going to be that easy ever again, Brandon. And I mean, I guess while we're pointing it out, a good thing for you to do here would be to put Justin on his back. Right? Justin could easily kind of track you and square up with you. If you put him on his back, you take away some of his mobility, and then you can pretty easily or more easily control his knees and taking pants grips, moving him around. But yeah, you'll never just run behind somebody live, so I don't want you to get too secure in that approach. And then from here, Brandon, it's all about, you've got to get your hooks in, you've got to establish your lower body control and your upper body control. That's what gives you that spinal alignment on the back that we often talk about, where you can then work towards your strangles. And again, in this case, since it's gi, I would say put your focus on gi strangles as opposed to a rear naked.
I like the way that Justin like dismantled the back take, right? Pushes the one leg down, high steps out and around, to make sure that the hook is out, right? Establishes a grip on the other side, and then steps around straight into a half guard.
Yeah.
Right.
Really good.
Like, yeah, that was really nice.
We got Luke and
So
Daniel.
now we got Luke and Daniel. Yeah.
Clash
I did not watch this match. So again, the use of the shoulder pinning from Daniel on Luke. So right into the half guard. I think he high steps his right leg out and then uses his shoulders to lay down onto Luke's belly and then rotates around. But it's like very pointed pressure.
Yeah. Into a Katagatame. Luke didn't look terribly threatened there. I mean, it looked like a bad spot, but Luke was just kind of looked like he was waiting.
Here's the knee bar. Here's the knee bar from Steven. So I come around, and then he's just straight in.
Love it. Love it.
So I was trying to get to an angle to where I could do an outside technical lift up and sweep the leg out.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I get to the position to where I'm going to do this, he starts stepping around, right? And I'm like, okay, I think he's going to backstep. And then as soon as he starts backstepping, we both talked about it afterward, he didn't think that he could cut the angle deep enough for the backstep. I didn't either. But as soon as he started falling, I was like, shit, he beat my knee line.
Yeah.
And as soon as he beat my knee line, I was like, no, I'm not fighting out of this one. And he had a good grip on me. I didn't even notice the grip at the time. I just felt like it was tight. But now that I see it, I feel even better about it, because I don't think if I tried to twist out of this, I don't think I would have been able to get out of it.
Yeah, and I think the pants are what, like that pants grip that he just established. Like that's really what sealed this.
I talk about this until I'm blue in the face, but the bend in the knee is what secures every leg lock. Like the fact that he puts a bend in my leg and he keeps the bend in my leg prevents rotation of the knee. So I'm giving him the bend in the knee by being able to do this. But as soon as somebody in no-gi is able to establish any sort of grip, I'm immediately going to try and straighten my leg out, right? Yeah. Most people who are, confident in leg locks or play in that game are good at straightening it out. Yeah, and as soon as it comes in, it's just like, that was super deep. But he completely pins and pushes my heel to my butt to give him time to start walking around my guard. And I mean, I know like Caleb has heard me talk about this, right? With the cross-hashi position. I just can't emphasize that enough. So for any of our students who are watching who aren't secure in their leg lock game or whatever, like that's how you can make a leg lock a controlling position, is by keeping that bend in the leg.
Yeah.
That was a really good knee bar.
Daniel's doing a great job of putting a lot of pressure on Luke's shoulders here, making it much harder for Luke to either work his sit outs, which we know he really likes to do, or square up, get back to guard, anything like that. What did Justin just do to poor Brandon here? Who knows? Some funky lapel stuff.
But I mean, speaking of funky lapel stuff, look at Daniel, who just took his gi up and over Luke's head to try and get control there. So he takes his gi top and fishes it from his left hand over Luke's head. right here. I think he's trying to, yep, and then he feeds it around through the near side. Luke is wise to it.
Yeah, Luke essentially gave up the pass there to prevent the strangle. Now trying to get his head paper cutted off.
Yeah. Fucking Steven and these Kimuras.
he caught me in a Kimura earlier, and I completely like reversed it and ended up in mount on it. Like I can't do Luke's reversal where he starts attacking Kimuras. Like it bothers my shoulder too much, so I just try to tuck my arm and then like completely do a 360 around the body until I'm on mount.
That cross-lapelled choke that he had me in. So Steven, we were talking about it, and I didn't realize that you had me in a closed guard, but I 100% may have passed out and then just came to right after that. That
right
was
there?
Like me coming right back. Yeah. He came around and he hit me with the tightest cross collar I've ever been hit with, right here. And I was like, oh, my knee's in, I'm okay. And then the next thing I remember is that I'm in close guard.
Yeah,
that
you're
was
like,
me. Like, oh, all right, I'm reoriented now.
Yeah. Then I slammed him.
Let me go ahead and pick him up. I was like, my knee's in. I'm not tapping.
Yeah. But tap early and tap often, students.
Yes.
Do as we say. Not
when I
as
have
we
a
do.
stroke, when I have a stroke at 48, you will know.
Yeah. And Daniel, let's see how Daniel got to Luke's back here. Let's see. All right, so he's working around side control. Looks like Luke went to turtle up. Getting some love in the chat.
Yeah, he finishes it off with a threat for a triangle too.
Yeah. What did Brandon do here?
So he's got a pants grip on the right leg of Justin.
See, it looks like he somersaults over. Almost kind of like Mitch's Leo roll that he likes to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just really heavy on the shoulders and the head.
Yeah.
I think Justin initiated that roll to
Yeah.
try and shake the hooks. Yeah.
Kurt's on more of his 50-50 drilling.
I think that's what he was training the whole time. He's just really working on that. More power to you. Like, I can't express enough how positional drilling can really. I mean, you remember like during COVID, you and I would do just position. Like, we would train and stuff, but we would do a lot of positional from the like back positions, mount position, and just start there and just like try and beat the hell out of each other in those positions.
Yeah.
And that does a lot for your attack game as well as your defense.
And the takedown rounds. Those are always
Jesus,
vomit-inducing takedown rounds.
Yep.
Good times. We should do that next. Maybe tomorrow. We'll get a takedown round in and go over it on stream.
Yeah, let's do that.
Steven was in a side triangle on Daniel there.
So I was watching from the pillar here, and it was a good match to watch.
Yeah, right. That's more of a reverse triangle.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Right here, this is where Daniel likes to start setting up his paper cutter. Like he's got the head side arm on the far side lapel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and this is from here. I'm kind of surprised he went to mount. I think Daniel, we alluded to this, or didn't allude to it. We called it out, I think, at the last stream. He really likes to play. He'll play. He trains the way he would roll in competition. Right, he's going to look for points. Mm-hmm. He's going to establish his position. He's going to advance. So get a nice pad of points. Go on your attack from there, whatever. So I think that's why he opts to go to mount here. Because right now he's got a solid paper cutter grip established with his other arm, his left arm in this case. Normally he would like to find like another grip, like he would possibly reach under Steven here and then grab like this gi from like an underhook position. I know that's something he does on me frequently. So he's even applying some pressure there. Steven's got to address it. But he takes the opportunity to get to mount, get some points.
Yeah, he has an Ezekiel there that he likes to try and put on, and I know Steven was talking mad shit to him.
Yeah, and he actually Daniel hit me with a paper cutter that he set up from a wrist lock. Like he threw on. Not like a weak wrist lock attempt, but definitely one that I was just like, oh, let me address that real quick. And then as I had my hands working on that, he sinks his grip in and hits it.
Yeah.
So I know he likes to use a little bit of misdirection.
That's what this game's all about, right? Especially when you get to certain levels, right? You're not going to be able to catch somebody when you just kind of shout it out loud, so to speak. So
yeah, absolutely.
Telegraph it and it ain't gonna work.
Nice, Justin. It looked like you got a little bit of a twist onto that ankle. Working the cross-side, the cross-side grip on the straight ankle. Something that could help. I mean, like you're really bending into it and everything. That's great. Right here, harkening back to what Mike was saying earlier, you got to bend in the leg, right? You got a little bend in Kurt's knee now. This is about where he taps, I believe. Think about, this is just a little pointer on the grip that I like to do. Bring your hand to your ear like you're answering the phone, and then point your elbow, like crunch in and point your elbow towards his hip. Like it's like you're trying to touch your elbow towards his hip, and that'll give you a little bit more bend on the foot too. Definitely, it's like one of those last little tiny details that you can use to take some slack out of that. Another, I think, so correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mike. If Justin slips Kurt's heel out of this, he's got, it's I guess more of like an Aoki lock.
Aoki.
Yeah, like if he keeps the same grip here, it's kind of like it's basically like a twisting straight ankle that you wouldn't necessarily call it a heel hook. I think is how you characterize that. I don't hit them frequently, if ever, like maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But or is the Aoki lock more of an inside heel attack?
That is right, and that's what you're calling out here. Is that if he slips his heel to the inside, he would have the Aoki lock. The inside
Yes.
type of or I'm sorry, the toes in, heel out, the outside heel hook variation is what's commonly referred to as the estima, right? The estima lock.
Okay. You got it. That makes more sense. Yeah. So yeah, if Kurt's toes pointed out this way more, and his heel was popped out and resting on your chest, yeah, that's the Aoki lock. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, good call.
Either one hurts like shit and can really start popping stuff, right? I mean, you've seen the estima lock, the outside one, right? That was made famous, unfortunately, by Placido, and
recently,
Emerald City, yeah,
against Calvin.
From Tom's school,
boys.
right? Yeah, does a nasty estima lock, and then the Aoki lock can be put on really quick. It can have really bad repercussions for the knee.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially an like similar attack to the inside heel hook.
Right.
Yep. Damn, Cole had Luke right where he wanted him. Lost all that momentum. What did Kurt get there? It's just like a
Toe hold.
Yeah.
I think he's hitting toe holds like crazy.
Yeah, they've worked well for him.
Mm-hmm.
And just another case for your point. He's excellent at taking the foot right towards the butt and keeping the most bended knee you could have. You know, if you're touching their toes all the way to their butt. Good stuff.
Yeah, Caleb called me out and wanted to have a no-gi round.
You guys are too scared of the cloth.
I was trying to work on your
The leg pendulum.
Yeah, and that was like I could not get my legs to work the right way. I was like, that's not how you do it.
Yeah, not with heavy pinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, anytime I get that, it's when he's trying to transition to north-south or around to side control. Like, he's giving me some space. If he just decides to, like, lay and pray, I'm probably not going to be able to move. Or if I could create, like, a little bit of space with my forearms framing him, then I might be able to do it.
So one thing to notice here, I was noticing this while I was attempting to escape in this position. Excuse me. And Gordon talks about this, Danaher talks about this, but like when I'm putting my knee in the hip here, you'll notice that my heel or my heel and my knee are either at a level playing field, if not my foot is below my knee. There's no chance in hell that I will be able to get my knee into the pocket of Caleb's hip to start a viable escape here.
Yeah.
Okay. The only way that I will be able to escape is to get my foot higher than my knee. Okay. And that's literally the name of the game here. And it doesn't seem like this. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, right? But when we talk about what Caleb is trying to do to me, which is trying to keep my knees pointed away from my body, when he points my knees away from my body, it keeps my feet down and my knees pointed away, right? When I can bring my knees towards him, now I have the ability to start raising my foot, but only for a fleeting moment, right? Until he's able to start shifting his weight again. So you'll see this battle happening back and forth of me trying to invert, and I cannot invert. So this is just really good top positioning.
Trying to invert your knee.
Yes.
Not your whole body. Which
yeah.
Right at the end here you get. But he's like, right. Oh, we're by the wood. let me go pin you and take away all your progress. Yeah, that's interesting. You do just see you like you watch your knee just continually trying to find that place again. There you got your foot above. You're trying to turn into him.
Yep. And then he switches his hips and goes into a Kesa, right? Now this starts to turn for me, right? So I'm able to catch him as he's starting to work around my body. And then I'm able to catch him back into a half guard. And now I can start reguarding and working actual attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then playing off of Tom's seminar the past 2 weekends ago, playing with that arm, right? So you'll see me playing with his near side arm, instead of worrying about anything, his other arm, right? The overhook side. I actually start worrying about this one, and now I'm able to start pushing, getting my hips out, and now I'm building head height, and now my focus is on hip height.
Mm-hmm.
So coming around, head height, hip height, and then I'm overturn. And he was like, I don't know how we got here. And like literally the entire time I'm like focusing on, I'm like, I got to get my head up. And then once I get my head up, I get my hips up. And then once that happens, I've got a reversal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can work from here. So Gavin's working a really good back attempt on Justin. But Justin's also, he's also Justin and trying to misalign immediately, right? So it's not easy to do.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Justin's posting this foot. It's going to be hard to move him. Gavin would have to primarily be moving himself behind Justin when he goes for the back take. I have a feeling Gavin's left knee isn't quite where I would like to see it.
Lower down the body than what you would prefer.
Yeah. I'd want to see it peeking up behind his head here, behind Justin's head, and then I'd like him to establish a better upper body grip.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets that. I think, let's see, where's Justin's? Okay, so he's got a leg trap on Justin right now. So this would be great if Gavin managed to sit and roll this way. He would have Justin's arm trapped with his leg. It would be the bottom side arms would be really hard to get free, and then it would be, a matter of getting to the lapel and setting up a strangle. But yeah, Justin's of course doing a great job of keeping his head away. I mean, Justin's shoulders are on the ground now. Gavin's coming back out the side.
Yeah, Justin's got his left ear to his shoulder, essentially. For the most part here, right? And Gavin has no cross face leg with to threaten the armbar. So Justin's kind of in the clear here to heist up and get on top.
Yeah, and this is a good case. I'll pick on Gavin a little bit here. This is a good case of when we see a submission almost within reach, and we just decide to go for it, but we haven't set up all of the prerequisite, wedges and positions that we need to send it home, right? So like you just said, that cross-facing leg isn't there. Gavin has no control over Justin's shoulders and head at this point, which is going to make finishing an armbar impossible. You need control over the shoulders and the head in order to finish an armbar. So as he goes for it here and says, I'm going to sit to my butt. Hey, look, I almost got an arm. Let's go. Justin just rolls up because there's nothing pinning him down. And regardless of whatever grip Gavin takes on Justin's arm here, you can see it's kind of in like an Americana style position. Doesn't matter. Justin just rolls his chest towards his elbow, and there's no threat of anything, right? So Gavin's left scrambling, and now he's, on his back in an open guard. So like you can't get too excited when you see those submissions. They're still a few steps away. You're almost there. You're doing great. Don't jump the gun on anything. Let's go back to Justin's fancy little roll in here, a little Berimbolo action.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So he starts the ninja roll, right? Like, I mean, that's essentially.
But he's actually facing Gavin here. So like it's in a top half. Normally, like the ninja roll that we all know and love, you are knee stapling and you can see their back, right? Like, so you're in your top half, you're playing your top half guard. They've trapped your ankle. You've put them to you've probably put them to their weak side. So you're in that like 3/4 mount with their back exposed. You turn towards their back and roll that way. In this case, Justin is rolling like in front of Gavin, right? Like he's on the side that Gavin is facing. But I think the connection, the connection with their legs was so tight that Justin was able to like get Gavin's hips moving and expose the back. It's not like that's why it strikes me as more of a Berimbolo, like than the ninja roll or whatever name you want to call it.
Yeah, we were looking at it. I don't know how. I mean, the fact that you got it to work is pretty cool. I don't know how I mean, we'll have to keep working on it though. I think shit, if it works, let's do it.
It was an Instagram move.
Yeah, and I tried it. We worked on it, and I tried it, and I couldn't get it to work. Like Justin's head always landed way too far. Yeah, way too far away from me to be able to like reach up and grab, and actually secure the back.
Yeah, I've never made Berimbolos work very well. It's always eluded me, and nothing I put too much focus on. Not that you shouldn't. I mean, Mikey Musumeci, before some of his recent progress in leg locks and his nogi game, he was known for his Berimbolo.
Yeah, and
he could hit that from anywhere.
Mayo brothers, right?
Yeah, you're right. I think they put that to work a lot. Get Luke's fat head out of the way here. Oh, something good happened, but everybody blocked it. All right, Caleb got him in
arm triangle.
Yeah.
This last little bit of class, I think this last round or two was odd. You'll see me like when I did the tape and stitched it all together. It was kind of strange to try and get the round timing, so forgive that in advance. Yeah, I like that Anaconda takedown by Danny.
Yeah, let's do that again. It almost looked like Brandon tapped there.
Yeah.
Like right here. You'll see it. Like he wanted to.
Yeah.
So one a skill that I think a lot of us take for granted until it's too late is grip breaking. And looking up at Gavin and Steven here up by the TV, Steven's established a grip. You know, it looks like a cross-side lapel grip, pretty high up on the lapel. It's a dangerous one. All grips are dangerous, right? That's no better than any other. But Gavin, I don't know. You know, Steven's got a strong grip, so it's not going to be easy to snap off. But I feel like Gavin's accepting this a little too readily. It's also late in the night, so maybe there's some fatigue setting in. But this is where, you know, you don't want to be looking at the ground like Gavin's doing. You don't want your posture broken. You don't have to accept these grips. You know, you should be fighting pretty hard to break some of these. Now you're just going wherever Steven wants to put you. Oh, even worse. Okay, it was a cross.
It was a cross collar choke.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Steven had the underside grip on the. So he sets up the primary grip here on Gavin's right collar, and then at some point got the underside grip on Gavin's left collar. So slick. I didn't even see it happening. That was stealthy.
And your exact coaching that's exactly what Daniel was saying while sitting there on the side to Gavin.
All the more reason to fight those grips.
Yep.
Did you get him again?
He did it twice.
Oh,
yes.
What a piece of shit, Steven. I know
kids
Gavin's pissed right
learn.
now.
Yeah, kids these days got to learn.
That's right.
Learn through experience.
All right, so let's look at why Brandon is not going to straight ankle lock Danny. And if anybody in the chat has any ideas about what's going wrong for Brandon, go ahead and chime in. I'll put in my 2 cents too. And actually, Mike, you know better than me. You're better with straight ankles than I am.
I mean, really, I think what Danny's coaching him through is the right thing. So the first thing I always, which is I keep saying is the least intuitive thing about straight ankle locks, right? Because straight ankle locks are based off of tension, right? You're supposed to straighten the leg out and extend the ankle. Well, when somebody's actually defending it, straightening the leg is normally not the best place to go. Pinching your knees together and promoting a bend in the knee, which is what Danny's coaching him through. What's that?
I said you've said that before.
I've said that before. I say it over and over and over again. But as soon as that happens, now you can start extending, and actually, you know, breaking that boot, I would say, at the end of the foot and getting the tap. So I think that's what Danny's trying to coach him through right now. There's obviously the element of the grip. I don't want to underemphasize the importance of the grip, but I would say that the grip is probably the thing that most people get right, I would say. You know, but this one, it could come up higher, right? Like Tonin talks a lot about it in his in Breaking Legs and Breaking Hearts, right? Is that you normally see when people are either you know, not versed in leg locks or get fatigued or whatever, is you start to see the hand going from, you know, we always say like do the Pledge of Allegiance with either hand, right? Sticking your hand up as high as you possibly can and extending out like Superman, right? Proud chest. When people get tired or when people don't know how to do a straight ankle lock, you see their hand drift down to their belly because that's the easiest place to grab the ankle. And you can see that happening here with Brandon. So even though he gets the tap here, it can definitely get tighter by him bringing his hand up. But the reason he gets the tap is because he can get the bend in the leg and it gets the extension on the ankle.
Yeah, so this is the live attempt before Danny started coaching him.
and there's no bend, right? Like there's no bend in Danny's leg. He's just booting straight out with his knee and his foot.
Yep. Yeah, and it's something I know I definitely underemphasize when I'm attempting these is like the hip connection, and
Yep.
I don't mean hip to hip the way we look for in like in like ashigaramis where we're trying to get heel hooks where my hips should be close to his. Actually, like I was just going over this I think with somebody, maybe Steven or Sean today, but like getting my hips actually further away from his hips because my feet are posted on his hips, applying some of that tension, and it seems counterintuitive because as you apply that tension, you think you'd straighten the knee out. The knee does not have to be straight in that case, but Brandon's, see if I don't think we have a good view of it here. Brandon's, we'll call it his bottom leg, isn't really doing much here to help him out. Like he doesn't have, he's kind of in an arimiashi, but the leg's top side. Danny's leg is top side as opposed to on the bottom, how we normally set it up. But that leg isn't applying any tension to Danny's hips in this case, so it's not a huge help here. That was one thing I saw, and then everything you said, like the grip being low, that's the most glaringly obvious, and then the shoulder drop is something that I just utterly neglected when I first learned how to do these. But you get that shoulder drop, like you said, with the proud chest. But that's what's really applying the tension to the end of the lever all the way at the toes. Yeah, you could start to see it better there.
You hear a lot of people talk about it, and I think I feel like it's the best way to teach the straight ankle break is to look straight overhead. Like everybody says to look behind you, right? And anybody who starts out is always going to go like this, right? Or look behind them one way or the other, left or right. Yeah. It's always looking over, straight overhead. And what happens when you do that? When you look over straight ahead, your chest becomes proud, your shoulders roll back, right? So it's kind of like a cheat code, right? Your head goes back, your chest gets proud. Really, like you said, all you have to worry about is dropping those shoulders back. That's the only thing. But if that's what you need for the cheat code is to look all the way back, then so be it.
Yeah, it's a good body cue.
Right.
Looks like Brandon and Danny are going over the bow and arrow. Let's finish out gi night with a good no gi match. What just happened there? That was fast. Oh, it looked like Steven was trying to get around on the back take that you went over during back week. That like Tonin style step around.
Yep.
And he's on the Kimura trap.
Yep. Caleb staying nice and heavy, being calm here, which wins the that battle, which is tough. Normally people are like so worried about their shoulder in that shoulder trap that they that Steven will definitely win that 99% of the time.
Yeah. Caleb working to a higher mount here.
Steven doing a good job of keeping his arms safe, right? Like
trying.
I mean, you're in that spot. I mean, to give one arm up is it's a hard thing to do to keep both of them tight to your chest. Caleb doing a really good job of replacing, right? You see that right knee coming up as the elbow goes above the head.
Yeah.
Now let's see what. Yep. And now I was gonna say, but what Steven likes to do is, also I'm guilty of doing it as well, right? Is kind of like allowing that other leg or that arm to shift underneath. You know, baiting that triangle trap, and then as soon as you feel it, you see that right leg plant, and you're like, okay, now from the outsider's perspective, you can see him coming up for that reversal.
I love how you guys take off your gi jackets, but then you still do pants grips. You're all pieces of shit. It's funny, right here when Steven comes up, it almost looks like he sets up like a topside pendejo guard.
Yeah.
You see how he's got like the...
I do. Yeah.
But it's like from the inside instead of the outside, like the false reap position, but he's just like on the center line.
So now Caleb falls in and he's like going for it. Did he get it?
It looked like they stopped, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see that exchange one more time.
Belly down.
That was smart. I'm glad.
Was, I mean, it was, yeah, that was sick.
Rolled through on that.
You better believe Steven's going into the legs now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the end of the night. You don't want to be pinned down by Caleb.
Yeah. That was some slick hip switching on Caleb's part. Watch this. He uses his right elbow. So he feeds his arm through for almost like a tight waist. Okay, so I'm willing to bet his right arm isn't all the way across grabbing the right side. I'm feeling like he's grabbing the thigh. You know, like the near side thigh.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
And then he goes for almost like an over under pass. Okay, like it's not 100% an over under pass, but you see how his left hand is pressuring down on the right hip of Steven there, and then he's using the pressure with his right shoulder to keep Steven down, and then he uses his knee. You see how he just like injects his right knee, boom, straight into the hip. And bam, like that is like a perfect sticking point to start passing the guard here.
Yeah.
That was a nice pass setup here.
And then just slowly makes his way up the body from there, right? Just kind of walking with his knees.
That's just a brutal guard pass, because I know like you said, end of the night, you're exhausted. You've got Caleb on top of you, and then he's just slowly working up the body.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Great technique.
Yeah, that was very nice. And Steven shoots right out of bottom mount and enters straight into the legs.
Rad.
To finish it out. Nice.
Good stuff tonight, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been awesome. I feel like everybody's been having some killer rolls. Maybe Tom DeBlas's presence was a bit of a contagion. Got everybody all hyped up to start rolling hard and really putting in some work, because you guys are definitely doing it, and we love to see it. And yeah, we went over so much stuff tonight in detail. So if anything is lingering, any questions, as always, bring it up at class. Let's talk about it during the open mat. If it's applicable to the lesson, bring it up in the lesson, and we can try to iron it out for you guys. Really great work on the leg attacks today, especially considering it's the leg attack sprint that we're in right now. Really cool to see like Danny working reverse reverse ashi and all that stuff earlier. So awesome work all the way around. Yeah, thanks, Steven.
Thank you. Yeah.
As always, follow us here. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing. If you guys haven't yet, you can support us over at coffee.com/mobjj. If you want replays of this, you can catch them on Twitch or over at YouTube, where this will be in the next couple of days. What else? We've got the Mooresville competition in 12 days. So I hope everybody who plans on training or plans on competing has talked to some of the coaches, and we better see your asses on the mats getting ready for that. What else? I think we're just back on our normal bullshit this week. So
I hope so.
It's
about time.
Nogi tomorrow with Coach Luke teaching, Bertram there on Tuesday, all that good stuff. Other than that, I think that's all the news. So go trim your nails and do your laundry, and do not be stinky. And we will see you guys this week.
Later.
Take it easy.